What if I were to tell you a couple months ago that the semifinals of the North American World Championship qualifiers would be Orcust versus Gem Knight? Yeah, that might have not have been the writing on the wall, but this is what happened at the WCQ this week. And we also had Orcust, Bestial Finsmith, of course, winning the whole event, which is actually kind of amazing. Really cool weekend, a lot of different decks, and surprisingly, no Forbidden and Limited list. Starting off on Friday, we actually had like a day zero event. Every time we have these big WCQs, we also have these World Championship qualifier playoffs, which is the highest rated players of the season of the year competing in a single elimination, I think 3-round tournament to secure 2 spots for NA at least. 2 spots in the World Championship, which is going to be taking place in Paris this year. We had Julian Kahn and also Sam Markowitz, I think his name is, the Mitsurugi player. Basically, Malice and Mitsurugi are still the decks to beat. As you can see on 2 sides of this table, Clifton Land, also very well-known players, Julian Kahn, actually kind of like an up-and-coming player from the DB scene. But yeah, making it look really convincing with Malice, which is no surprise. So we had like a start to the weekend with these World Championship qualifier playoffs. Now, this is how the breakdown kind of looks like. I don't know if anybody's surprised. I'm personally not. I think Malice has actually been doing better this weekend than I think people would have realized. However, you can see that kind of like the middle part of this sort of like pie chart, it starts getting kind of crowded, which is what I like to see. I love formats where you have all this spread. Like, I don't like 2 one-deck formats. So obviously Malice taking up the bunch, the majority of the tournament with Mitsurugi, which is actually incredible, to be honest. The TCG exclusive archetype that isn't even released in Japan yet. And then, of course, we have some new archetypes, 3 of them actually, that have gotten recent support. Vanquish Soul with 2 cards in the new set, Duelists Advanced. And it's only going to get better from here. Malice and Mitsurugi probably going to be hit in the upcoming Forbidden and Limited list. And then very likely Vanquish Soul K9 is going to take over. Orcust and Gem Knight, dude. Ryziel is only here. We have Blue Eyes, Memento, we have Mermail, Punk, I think. It's really hard. White Forest. This is going to be the quiz for all of you at home. I don't know what's going on later. But as you can see from the tournament runner-ups, we have Wilfredo with Orcust, Bestial, Finsmith taking up. And then we have like a lot of Malice and Mitsurugi spread out in between. Gem Knight taking the 4th place. We have Blue Eyes here. We have Punk, Fiendsmith, White Forest, Evil Twin, Lunalight, Vanquish Soul. Really, really cool. We also probably have more, like 4 Vanquish Soul at the end to round out the table. So yeah, Wilfredo F, I don't know his last name, taking home the tournament with Orcust, Fiendsmith, Bestial. Honestly, one of my good testing partners and good friends is an Orcust player through and through, and he's been testing Orcust a lot against me. So I know that the deck has legs, and when you combine the very strong engine with the new Link 1 of the Orcust engine, you combine it with Fiendsmith and Bestial, which are 2 very recursive, consistent, and strong secondary engines. Yeah, you have a good day. You see less Lancias. This deck can be kind of caught in the crossfire of Lancia with Malice because this is what the deck does as well. Also requires banishing. Not as much as Malice does, but also kind of dies to it, to be honest. But then Fiendsmith and Bestial kind of take care of the rest, so it's pretty good. So congratulations. Pretty cool to see. Pretty sure, based on what I read from Kangas on Twitter, first major premier top, winning the NAWCQ, 2,000-something players. Lunalight was also, it's something that interests me a lot. I think that the deck is... I might come off not very based here, but I don't like what this deck can do because the 2 things that the deck is really, really good at is basically making a huge towers that is so strong. The big new Lunalight Liger Dancer, unaffected by other card effects, and also blows up your opponent's entire field. And you can make 2 of these, and I think it's soft once per turn. It's kind of nasty. And the other thing that this deck does is rank 4s. Which you know what that means. It means Baguska and Gaga Cowboy. So I don't like this deck particularly, but I'm very interested in it because it does have some merits to it. Like Dominus Impulse is a really good card. We had some really cool gameplay. Speaking of Lunalight, we have Outer Entity Niarla here. This is a card that is played in this deck. Yeah, for some reason. I'm pretty sure it kind of changes types or attributes or something like that. Lunalight, one of the new decks. I think this tournament was a really, really good showcase of the new sets and the new decks, with Gemnite making it all the way through, Orcust winning the tournament with new support. Unfortunately, the EU still hasn't gotten the Battles of Legend Monster Mayhem set that has Orcust and Gemnite, by the way. We still don't have it. We have Duelist Advance, thankfully, but feeling like an underdeveloped market here. So Lunalight, this is where you see the towers happening, banishing Lunalight Tiger Dancer and or some of the fusions, and then 3 other Lunalight monsters, which is pretty crazy to summon a fusion monster with 4 materials. But yeah, now this board has an unaffected 3,800 attack monster that also has a quick effect to destroy all of your opponent's special summons monsters, which is really good. Another thing that we saw, of course, was Orcust. We saw it also in the semifinals and the finals, and of course, this is Jean-Paul. He's a different duelist who managed to top with it, but also the Mitsurugi Fiendsmith Orcust variant. Now, what's cool about this deck, and actually I'm surprised like this didn't make it all the way through. I think this is Swiss round 11 out of 12, but the Mitsurugi cards and the Orcust cards pair up really well because Orcust cards can make a very easy rank 4 using Harp, Girsu, those are level 4s, then access the Mitsurugi engine. You're locked into dark monsters, which doesn't matter because Mitsurugi is every single Mitsurugi monster is a dark monster. And then you basically end on the best of both worlds. And if you combine it with Fiendsmith, then boy, you're mega cooking here. So this is one of the strongest decks I think moving forward. I think that if Malice and Ryziel take a good hit, which I think they will, and Mitsurugi maybe is left a little bit unscathed because I think the TCG is going to want to keep it a little bit longer, possibly, then this deck is a contender. And if the Fiendsmith cards don't get hit, I don't think that you don't really need the Fiendsmith cards for this deck specifically. You just need the Mitsurugi. You just need 3 prayers. As long as we have 3 Mitsurugi prayers, this deck is viable. And I think Konami is going to want us to play Orcust. It's an Orcust summer. And another deck that we discussed again, we have Isaias here, who was in the finals as well, against Orcust, playing Gem Knights. My limited experience with Gem Knights is that, one, this used to be an FTK deck. A lot of the cards made it on the ban list. But now, I think there was 1 Gem Knight out of the whole, like maybe 1 or 2 out of the whole top 64. My limited experience playing against this deck is that it was very underwhelming. And if you have 2 hand traps, you probably win. But again, to top these big events, you kind of need like a solid day. You need like a good day. And a skilled duelist like Isaias made it all the way to the finals with a deck that I didn't deem to be as competitive. We also had Ruben Panranda with Bestial Adagnister Malice, the deck. Look at this end board. This deck is crazy. And even though I played Malice a lot, won my last regional with Malice, had like a good experience with it, I don't feel like playing this deck feels unfair and unfun, to be honest. And also playing against Craig here with Vanquish Soul, which is one of the newest decks that made it to the 3rd most represented deck in Top Cut, which is crazy. I think you cannot break this Malice board, but I think it's cool that Vanquish Soul is showing up. And trust me, in about a month or 2, you're going to be sitting here and being extremely sick of playing against Vanquish Soul because this is all you're going to see. This was the NAWCQ. EUWCQ soon. We're going to have another recap, of course, of the event. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.